3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, this is Victor and we are here with Cate, and we're going to be talking about her real estate flipping journey. We're going to be talking about how Cate went from struggling to qualify for a conventional mortgage to her first 28K net profit flip. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad we could talk, and I'm glad we could share your story. You've been through quite the trials here, so really want to share your story, share your progress.
Sure. I originally began researching real estate and becoming interested in flipping and just purchasing in general around 2015. The wheels were turning. I was just kind of looking. I found a house, tried to pre-qualify, got pre-qualified in 2016. It fell through, wasn't able to buy. Same thing happened in 2017 and again in 2019. So 3 times in a row, I kind of struck out with the conventional home buying process and was beyond frustrated, decided I wasn't going to touch real estate ever again. And I needed a few months to cool off, and then I decided to get back into it. I thought maybe I should become a mortgage loan originator and learn everything there is to learn about lending so that I know exactly what I need to do and what has to happen as far as the loan process goes so that this never happens again. And during that time, I met Victor. I found out what his course was all about, and basically all the little pieces fell together, where all the little bits and pieces that I was actually missing, he had them all in his course, and it just kind of flowed from there. And I just signed a contract on my very first flip, and it's going to net about $28,000.
Very nice, and we can definitely talk about that more. So yeah, 5 years is quite a long time to be going through it, and then now you're qualified and it's looking really good in terms of closing. It's a good deal. We'll definitely talk about that as well. Were there any other struggles you had with regards to real estate or flipping, like any questions you had on your mind or anything else you were struggling with?
Well, I had a mentor that I decided to work with about a year ago, and he just purchased a home for us to go work on and flip together. And he was going to show me the ropes on everything, on doing all the work and how to adjust for remodeling costs and things like that. And he passed away in that house a week after getting it. So that ended that mentorship.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I was so surprised because that's never happened to anybody I know. We're like, cool, I'm good to go. And then it just, just falls apart that quickly, which is a shame.
Yeah, and I spent the last year volunteering with Habitat for Humanity, learning how to build homes so that I can do a lot of the work myself and save money. And thank goodness for Victor's spreadsheet of repair costs and things like that, because I've already been overcharged twice for estimates. That's been another problem, being overcharged. They see new investor and they come running for you with big numbers.
Yeah, there we go.
That is a saving grace, that sheet, because I can pull it out and say, well, you know what? This is actually more in tune with where we're supposed to be at, and I'm afraid we're not going to be able to do business together. So, I got the confidence that I didn't have before too. After being knocked down so many times, I have all the tools now, and I got them from this course. And I'm definitely at a more confident position.
Well, that's great. That's a great segue. We can definitely talk about the specific flip. And that in mind, do you remember the renovations you got the quote for that were just over?
Yes. The quote was for interior and exterior painting. And rather than it cost me about $3,000 for everything, I was charged almost $8,300.
Wow. Yeah, I remember you sending that to me. And I was like, is this a typo? Is this, because it was just way off. It was way too high.
Yeah. It's a small 1,500 square foot, 1-story ranch. And all I wanted was interior and exterior painting. So it should never have been maybe $300.
Yeah. So what do you think was going on? Is it that they thought you were a new investor, so you'd fall for it, or was it something else?
I've heard that women tend to get manipulated in this industry a little bit. So it could be that. They may just think that we're less informed, and as a new investor in the market, they're going to think that I don't know what pricing should be. And with that notion, they're going to quote me really high. So they don't know that I've been doing research for 5 years, and they don't know that I have Victor's spreadsheet of how much things should cost. And I'm in the South too, and the prices don't go up here in South Carolina versus where Victor is. They're probably less or right on target because I'm on a coastal city. So.
Yeah, exactly. So that was surprising. So 8,300. So you're not going to work with him, I assume.
No.
Okay.
He wouldn't even provide me with the estimate after I asked for it. I said I'd still like the full estimate, and he wouldn't even give it to me.
Oh, he didn't even write it up. He just said, "Oh, it's going to be this much." Take it or leave it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Good riddance. I think that was the right move on that one. Okay. So some of the renovations. I'd love to talk about some of the numbers if you're comfortable sharing, like what you're buying it at, what you're going to put into it, and what you're going to sell it for.
Yeah. So the initial property was listed for $94,750, I believe, and I got it for $83,380. This was a HUD home. It just went back on the market in June. Somebody purchased it in April, and their pending sale fell through because the home didn't have a well. So they couldn't use traditional funding. It had to be an investor with cash. So it was perfect opportunity for me to swoop in and get it for a cheaper price. So that's exactly what I did. And I'm going to put about $22,000 to $25,000 into it. And that's going to net me about $28,000 after all my fees and, you know, title, everything comes out of it at the end. With my finance company in particular, I should net about $28,000.
28. Okay. And then you're going to sell it for, what do we say, like 160, 165 is the goal?
Somewhere between 160, 165 is the goal.
Okay, cool.
4-bedroom, 2-bath.
4-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay. I did forget to ask, so what market are you based out of, just so everyone knows?
I'm in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area. This particular property is located in a more rural area in the next town over in Conway, South Carolina. It's not quite rural. It's within 15 miles to the city limit, so it's not considered technically rural, but it's pretty rural. It's on a dirt road.
Right.
And the well is in the next lot over. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so that is the numbers. And then for renovations, you're thinking like 2025. What are you thinking for the renovations in terms of what you're going to do to it?
Well, it's going to cost me about $6,300 to put the well in. Flooring, I've gotten the guy to come down on flooring. We're going to go with a little bit of a cheaper product on both carpeting and laminate wood. So I've got that down to about $5,300. It was up over $6,500 yesterday. So we're doing a little better on flooring. I still need to look into the siding because it could be asbestos siding. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to re-side it. I'm still waiting to find out about that. It's older siding, so I don't know.
Do you know what year it was built?
1950.
1950. Okay, that's a possibility. I saw the pictures. We haven't talked about this yet. I saw the pictures. It didn't look like asbestos siding. I think it was just an old siding. But as you do your inspection, you'll find that out. But I don't think it was. I don't think so either. But I'm just not positive. It is an older house, so we're going to look into that. But other than that, I'm going to put in new kitchen appliances. The painting is going to be done by a friend of mine who's just starting up her painting company. So she's kind of cutting me a really cool deal. In exchange, she's going to get a lot of nice brand new photos for her beginner portfolio of her painting job. So we're kind of working together. Yeah. Okay. And then on this one, so you're going to do a little bit of the work yourself, try to save some money?
Yep. I'm pulling up all the flooring myself, all the tile, all the wood. I'm pulling off all the trim around the bottom, and I will be painting with my friend. She's going to be showing me everything. So I'm doing a lot of the work. I'm doing the front and back deck, which are both large decks. I have to do those myself. And I don't know what else I'll end up coming up with, but
That's plenty of work to do yourself. Okay, so that's some of the renovations. So for the most part, like it's not crazy, like you have to rebuild a house or everything's brand new, like a gut job. It's
no.
just cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, fortunately the walls are in very good condition and the house was renovated in 2005, so it's not that bad. It's just a little outdated and it's been vacant for a few months, so you know there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up and ripped out, but other than that, most of it is cosmetic. Does need a new water heater and you know just some little things.
Okay.
I'd say
Cool.
my biggest expenses are probably the kitchen and the flooring. So we're looking good everywhere else, just a few minor little things here and there, other than those, and the well.
Right, and that's a decent price for the flooring. That's about like a little over $3 a square foot. That's about right. Because we went with the
Quoted me
cheaper stuff.
$216 for product, but then you add in the labor. He didn't come down on the labor much. So.
It was like $1 a square foot. That's about right. Yeah. About right. Okay. Okay. No, so that's about right. So that's more in line because you initially said like the I think it was 6,300 is what you said, and that seemed a little bit high. And then we talked about like the specific type of flooring in there where that's really high end. So I'm doing a couple where it's like $300,000, $250,000 house, and it makes sense to put that. But for yours, it didn't make sense to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that looks really good. So you have this deal. Like, how are you feeling about it? Like, you want to do this deal and you want to do more deals, or like, how's your, okay.
As soon as I got this one under contract, I was like, all right, where's the next one? I wanted to jump right in and get the next one going, but probably gonna give it another month or two. I want to finish this one first.
Yeah, at the very least, like finish the renovations on this one, then like start looking for another one. I don't want you to get too ahead of yourself.
I have a feeling it's going to be quite addicting once I get going.
I think so too. And you'll find out like your first one's the hardest. After you get that first one, like you build momentum, like people start bringing deals to you. Finance becomes easier. Like, oh, Cate already did a deal and she was profitable. Boom. Okay. You know, let's lend her money. And it's just going to be a ton easier for sure.
Yeah. I hope so.
Good.
This first one's pretty expensive.
You'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really good. And then would you recommend others work with me?
I would. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And then why should someone who's listening now take action?
Well, the market's hot right now, and being a mortgage lender, I can tell you that now's the time. If you're buying or if you're already an investor and you're looking for homes, buy them up now because things are going to change in about 18 months, and now's the time to move. So I would take that advice to heart.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, jump today. Jump now because you keep waiting, there will be nothing left pretty soon. We're headed into some rocky times, I guess. Well, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion,
you're in it. Yeah.
We're in it, and I don't think it'll ever be as bad as 2008, 2009, but it's unknown right now. And with the way things are changing, get what you can. That's all I'm going to say about it. Get what you can and get it situated now and build your portfolio as soon as possible. There's no reason to wait.
I think that's really good advice. Okay. Well, any final thoughts on this property or on flipping in general, or any other final thoughts as we're wrapping up here?
If you're really knowledgeable in the industry, don't be afraid to ask your peers, your friends, your family, your mentors out there in the world that you learn from, you know, that know you personally. Don't be afraid to ask them to fund your deals, to invest in you, because that's really what you need. If you don't have the money to get started and you don't have the ability to find a deal where your ARV is so good on the back end that you don't have to put anything down, don't be afraid to ask for the money, because had I not asked, I wouldn't be sitting here today. So I guess
that's really good advice. Yeah, because a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't have the money, that holds them back. Like, they don't have the money, so they don't do a deal, so they don't make a profit. And then, oh, I don't have the money, so they don't do a deal, so they don't have the profit, and then they just get stuck there.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good advice.
Yeah. Closed mouth doesn't get fed.
That's a good one. I haven't heard of that one before. Okay, cool. Well, sounds good. Hey, I do appreciate you taking the time. It's been really good and hopefully helpful for everyone listening. And appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. We'll see you guys.
All right.
We'll see you.
Thanks. Bye.